Well, look, psychology it goes to all parts. First of all, it's the filmmaking process itself. That a
Hmm.
director has to be a master psychologist. Film directing is about leadership. And to lead people, you have to show vulnerability. You have to appreciate people's good work. They have to feel they're working in a safe and nurturing environment. You can't show fear in yourself. You can show vulnerability, but you also have to recognize that if you're panicked, everybody else will panic. It's also a great way of discovering your better self because film is a high risk occupation and very, very stressful. And you learn I've worked on something like 100 projects now, television shows, feature films, I go into commercials and music videos even more. But I've had so many experiences where I've been living in terror or that I've been tested emotionally, intellectually, and every other way a person can be tested. So you discover something about yourself psychologically. You discover how you can become the best person that you can be, but also how you can best facilitate the people around you. So it's not just directors, but anybody who's successful in the film industry has to become a master of the psychological. You're going to be working with a great many people, if you're not already, under great pressure.
Hmm.
So that is a template for either catastrophe or certainly conflict. How can you resolve conflict amicably and have a successful outcome? Now, because it's a creative endeavor, simple compromise or surrender is not really an option because if a producer comes to you and says, I'm sorry, you can't do this shot, and you know the shot is important for your film, you're going to still have to get that shot, but not alienate the director. So, sorry, the producer. So there's a psychological component here where you're thinking, okay, what's the producer really saying? They say they don't want the shot, but do they really care about the shot, or are they concerned about the schedule and the budget? So you go back to them and say, I understand and I respect what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. You don't want me to get a shot. Can I ask why?
Hmm.
You're trying not to threaten. Again, a psychological principle. People who are threatened display their worst behavior. That's why people very often behave badly on film sets because they're under pressure. It doesn't bring out the best in people always. It sometimes brings out the worst. You discover the producer is concerned about the time and therefore the budget. So you say, okay, let me do this. I can get that shot, but these other shots I was going to do in the afternoon, I don't need, or I can eliminate. That will give
Hmm.
me more time for the shot. We can achieve your budget and still get the shot, which I think is essential for the film. And let me explain why it's essential for the film.
Yeah,
Because here's
good point.
another part of psychology, which is I always say to my crew when I was a cinematographer as director, what my intention for the day is and why I'm trying to achieve the shots I'm achieving and what I hope to get. All those in all those complex and nuanced ways. Everything that I'm thinking, my crew will know. Why?
Hmm.
Because when people know why they're doing something, they're much more engaged and they feel part of the process. They feel recognized. They feel that you're sharing with them. They feel respected and they do better work. So, in the example I'm giving with the producer, when you recognize that problem, when you explain to them why you want the shot and why it's important to you, they feel you respected them. They feel that you have a regard for their concerns and needs, and they will be able to work with you then and in the future. This is all part of the psychology, not only of being director, but I say of any crew member. I said right at the beginning of our talk how so many directors feel more comfortable dealing with the camera or with the technology than with people. Uh, just like we were talking about screenwriting, why we prefer outlines and structure to kind of free form character development. It's because it's easier, it's
Hmm.
less threatening, it offers less resistance. But it's not the best way to go. The best way to go is to engage in the complexities, to fully come to an understanding of them, and to create the best possible working environment, the best possible film. So the crew made up of people. People are complicated, but you have to deal with those complicated people. And again, to review, if you lead by explanation, if you show your own vulnerability, if you create a nurturing environment. If you do all those things, then invariably you'll have a successful film set, and that usually leads to a successful film. And when you're a writer-director, same basic principles, which is going to the humanity of your writing, which means going to character. And I always begin in character, create lots of backstory, come to an understanding of who a character is, and then on the second and third draft, then I can work towards structure. But I don't begin in structure and order. I embrace the chaos of the human condition, and that's from where my film scripts will grow, and that's also how I work on film sets.